Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the update tonight. Day 807. So here's the deal. I can't hear anything. I am not one that likes technological problems. And I've got Dr. Gerdes popping in here, and I do not know why I'm not hearing. 1 second here. And I think I just fixed it. So can somebody in the chat tell me you heard me? Please. I hope for sure that you heard me. Everything good. Thank you, JR. Actually, that was it. Plus. Thanks everybody for being here tonight. And we've got it solved. Okay. Whew. That's some pressure right there. I will start with this. Dr. Gerdes will be joining me, and the mods are ready. Tonight is going to be a full update. Let me fix that. A full update on Kharkiv, on the Incursion, and also on our Free Friday flag raffle. Okay, I'm focused now. Patch of the night tonight. We're going to get it right from the get-go. I'm going to reuse the Kharkiv Zale Baton. This is the real deal, guys. I got this early in the war, helping in Kharkiv with the Kraken units. And today, Kharkiv. Whew. Interesting. Yesterday, I was talking to Johnny, and I said, "Man, something's going to happen in Kharkiv," and I didn't want it to be right, but sure enough, and I'm looking for Gerdes over here. Sure enough, it was right. Not an invasion, but definitely some work going in that area, and we will be covering it all tonight. But we're only going to cover facts. We're not going to cover conjecture. Only facts here. Now, tonight, I'm also doing this in honor of Johnny. I went for a spot of tea. I have my mug. I've learned the proper British way of doing this, and you guys get ready. This is going to be Greg's voice a little distorted. Hold on. We're going to get it dialed in. Everybody tell me now, because I had to make some adjustments in the studio today. Are we getting it dialed in now? If I can get a plus, that would be great in the chat. Actually made some adjustments in the studio today, and that's what happened. Low on the volume, plus, good sound. I think we are good. Thank you. Volume's a little low. Let's do that. I think you're good now, hopefully. All right, guys. Too low, plus. I think we're good. I think I just fixed it. My monitor's right. Everything's good. All right. Let's start with this. While I'm waiting on Professor Gerdes to hop in here. Already, you guys, very interested. Dunk on you 23 on your take on Kharkiv. Let's see. Thank you for that 20. I read a lot about it today. Slava Ukraini. We will be getting to that, and that is the main deal of talking about tonight. Plus, Dunk on you 23. Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. And Leslie Bow, thank you for the gifted memberships. And I think we're now dialed in. Man, it's a lot of stuff to make sure you're dialed in. Okay, now let's do it this way. Professor Gerdes and I tonight are going to be talking about understanding the Kharkiv, and I'm calling it an incursion. And additionally, Day 807, War in Ukraine. This is also Battle Flag Friday raffle. So tonight we will be raffling off this battle flag right here. and autographed from the front with fish. Let's see, there it is in the artwork, directly from the front. Every flag we've raffled to this point and either raised money or have given away have all been shipped. If they haven't arrived to you yet, they will be en route to you. So when Prof. Gerdes hops in here, he'll just join me. But until then, let's do this. To enter the raffle, if you are watching on Professor Gerdes' channel, it should be pinned in his chat. If not, come to my chat. And there is a link that I've pinned. It goes to a form. You just put your name and email in. Emails will not be shown. I had to fix that last night. Last week, took the video down for security. Nobody's email addresses are out there. This week, it will flow perfectly. I'm a work in progress. But tonight will be even better. We get better every day, hopefully, except tonight trying to figure the audio out. But Greg, Reb Tyree, the real Vladimir Putin is back. Love seeing you in here, my friend. I don't know what happened yesterday, but we're getting it fixed. To enter the drawing, go to the chat, the pinned chat. Click the link in the comment. From there, it will take you to a form. You enter your name and email. At the end of the stream, I'm going to put a 10-minute countdown up. Now, I saw that Mertzi coming through the chat. Let me do this. Let me do this. You guys are looking at mine. And if I go to the pin and I click the link, it takes me to the form, today's date, email, name. Yep, perfect. And you put it in. I can tell you on the back end, I won't show here, but I can tell you on the back end, it's working. So the link is working perfectly. We've already got 82 people in the raffle. No, this is not a raffle ticket. The link is working perfectly, guys. So maybe refresh or something of that nature. Now, 82 are already in. Let's see if we can get it to a couple of hundred. Give everybody a shot at winning this flag tonight. In regard to that, enter the drawing one time only, end of the stream. The name will be put on the spinning wheel. I'll spin the wheel. Whatever name is there, you win, but you must be present to win. So that's where we're at on that. Now, additionally, starting Monday, May the 13th, 2024, and chat, it is free. There is no cost on this raffle ticket. Zero. We're trying to give back to all of you wonderful, generous people. And somebody will win a flag tonight. So thank you for that. You guys are so generous, especially when we're on the large projects. Our large projects are rolling. In fact, just a little while ago, I received video of our human hero rescue machine in action being worked with by guys training on it. I have the video. We are watermarking it up because it is our video. It's our machine, and that means all of you that we have delivered to the military, and we don't want that video rolling around Twitter without our communities, people knowing that you guys bought it. So that's in process. You'll be seeing that early next week. Now, let me tell you this. I'm getting ready to go back to Ukraine to meet the armored vehicles, and that process is going just fine. It takes time. So starting Monday, May the 13th, for a few weeks, I'm going to move my live stream from 5 until 4, 1 hour earlier, just temporarily. I like the 5 o'clock slot, but Gonna move it to 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern because I'm going into training for a month. I think I'm going to be running around on the front lines a bit more than we were on our last trip that we just returned from. And my kids are saying, Dad, you've got to get in better shape. And I'm in much better shape. I'm actually really healthy overall. But my kids, my daughters, my son, they're saying, Dad, you got to get in better shape. You may be running around this time more than last time. So I will be going to training with my kids at a CrossFit on Mondays at 5:30. The stream will be 4 to 5, 4 to 5:15. And that will just be hopefully 3 or 4 weeks. And then I head to Ukraine and then we'll get back on 5 o'clock. So that's where we're at. Great time for Germany, 22. Good. So 4 o'clock, just 1 hour difference. That's it. 1 hour earlier. King Dog, how is Zhenya's knee? Zhenya's knee is doing well, but he had to have some more fluid drained off of it today, and he's doing well. I was talking to him, and all is good. Now, I need to get Prof. Gerdes in here, and I need to adjust his camera. And I will do that while he's talking. How are you, sir? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Prof?
I can.
Okay, good. I'll fix your camera. Don't worry about that.
I'm a little large here.
Well, you're larger than life. Go ahead and talk for a second while I fix that.
I'm not sure exactly what to say for a second. I don't know where you were. I know we're going to talk about Kharkiv, but I don't
We're
know.
going to talk about Kharkiv. I was just talking about the raffle, and
Okay.
I'm really liking this zoomed up. This is awesome, but I'll fix him here.
It's a little blurry on my end. I hope that it's not in HD, given that you could probably see every pore in my
we are looking
face.
at every corpuscle of you, sir. Let me do this first. You go ahead and talk for a second.
So it's pretty interesting seeing how the tactics have changed. I was just talking yesterday about how I think it was the ISW and some others were talking about there's been an uptick 17% more attacks in April as opposed to May.
Yes.
April as opposed to March, and Chasiv Yar particularly was the focal point of all that. And now it seems to be shifting up to Kharkiv in a meaningful way.
We're going to talk about Chasiv Yar. There we go, guys. I'm getting him dialed in. We're going to be talking about Chasiv Yar because the ground commander talked about it tonight, just a little while ago. In fact, going right now, and I've just about got him where I want him. Talking tonight, Zelensky late tweets coming out, as well as Sierski. I've got Zelensky's speech. I've got everything we need, and we will cover it all. And we'll just go with that for right now. We've got
in 20 minutes. My stove is going to go off.
In 20 minutes, his stove will go off. So
people are entering the raffle that I made out of the oven.
People are entering the raffle. I have set them up for the links, and people are getting in the raffle. I've shown the flag. We're up to 110 entrants. I will do a 10-minute countdown at the very end. We'll spin the wheel, and away we go. So, guys, here we are. Thank you very much. And by the way, Cheryl Waitley says your teeth are in good shape. She just did a dental exam on the zoomed-in camera. So, all right. And then starting next week, Prof, I'll be doing my live at 4 Eastern because I'm going training with my kids in preparation for the next Ukraine trip. So they're making Dad work out more.
Training where?
With CrossFit. My son's a football player, and he's in extremely good shape. And he has put the onus on Dad to pick it up before I go dodge bombs again. So.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So here's where I'll start. I've got everything ready, and then I'll get your comment. I say right now, be patient. Now, when this thing first started breaking late last night, I was watching it. I was seeing everything. Jason Thomas, that is 16 Eastern, 4 o'clock p.m., 1600 hours. And the early tweets were rolling and the early telegram was rolling, and all the Russian equipment is being blown up inside Russia, inside Ukraine. It's 2 kilometers from this village gate. And that was all the early stuff. Of course, that's a little bit of panic, because this instilled some memories in the people of Kharkiv, to be quite honest. But this is one story right here. There was 5 pieces of Russian equipment that was blown up inside Ukrainian territory. And the fact is, it wasn't. It was actually destroyed in Russian territory. So right now, in fact, I can tell you right this second, 5:22 Eastern, 12:22 a.m. in Ukraine, there are movements across the border right now. Right this second. They've started.
Are we just talking about the column, or are we talking about beyond that?
No, I'm talking about just some minor incursions, but they are across the border right now. It just started about 30 minutes ago, where there are some movements coming on some of the villages. So tonight, we're only going to talk about facts. The fact is, yesterday, Johnny and I were streaming, and I just know and have a feeling from my experience there, talking to people, that at the minimum, this is what we're going to see in Kharkiv for a distraction and to pull Ukrainian resources. And we saw it today when Zelensky had to, and the defense rolled in reserves up there really quickly.
So that's a good question. Is it a distraction, or is it something more? And it's a really good question whether it is. If it is, what's a distraction for? If it's something more, that kind of makes more sense.
I am going to stick
you
by.
Understand what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
Like to
I'm
actually go after Kharkiv is a pretty big prize, and if they could get that would be significant. But if it's a distraction, what's a distraction away from? What are they trying to? Where are they trying to loosen the grip?
We're going to talk about that. I've got a slide for that for you. But I can tell you the distraction is to pull, at the minimum, the limited resources that Ukraine has. And
sure, but from where? Where do they want to pull it from?
I don't know. I don't think they know. I'm sticking by my suggestion that they will try to take Kharkiv eventually.
Yeah.
If the war's not ended, I still stand by that. And at the minimum, it's going to be bombed intensely.
Yeah.
But I stand by that because, okay, Russia cannot take all of Ukraine. Russia cannot take Odessa. Russia is going to take, for example, Chasiv Yar. And people say, okay, well, months and months to get it. Yes, but it's going to fall. And basically today, the ground general said so. I will show that to you guys in just a few moments. Could they take Kharkiv? In the present condition, no. Do they have enough resources in the big picture? Possibly. But for sure, if they were to take Kharkiv, the war's over. I'm just saying it here and now. The international community would then push for negotiations. Kyiv would be pushed, and then you would see the real battle. Okay. So that's just where I stand. It's my opinion and could be completely wrong, but I was not in the least surprised by the increase in activity today on that northern front.
So I think you're completely wrong. And I think you're completely wrong, because Solyov told me that they could take Kharkiv, Kyiv, Odessa, and Lviv. So
I feel like I'm talking to Johnny now. You're wrong, mate. Well, we'll see. I'll be honest.
I'm not sure. I think you're right that they want to take Kharkiv. I don't know if they can take Kharkiv. And again, I'm not a military expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I am pretty sure that they'd be just as happy with the consolation prize of destroying every last little bit of Kharkiv,
Mm-hmm.
just bombing it into oblivion, because that's the way that they have shown themselves. So, okay, well, what
So
else do
let's
we
do
need
this.
to? Yeah.
Let's be patient and we will watch it. Here's what we can say. Um, Big attacks today.
Hmm.
We can say there are right now, at the minimum, some DRG across the border on some of these close up villages in the last 30 to 45 minutes. We can
You,
say
you
that
might might want to explain to the audience DRG.
DRG is Defense Reconnaissance Groups, basically Russian special forces, special ops that come across the border. And these are not meat grinder troops. These are highly trained professionals that do work behind the lines. Ukraine has the same, working behind on Russian territory. It's war, but the
Well, but
DRG, they're active today.
that's not new. That's
No,
been
no, no,
happening on
it's
and
not
off
new.
for some time.
No, but I'm saying patience. I'm not going to sit on here at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time when I just got the report 45 minutes ago that Russian troops are on some of those villages and start spewing out, well, there's hundreds of troops. No, what I do know, at the minimum, DRG's there. But I can tell you right now, there's Russian troops on a couple of those villages working their way.
Sure.
And we'll see what it is.
I saw something, I don't know if it's verifiable, of some of the Russian Legion folks getting caught. The pro-Ukrainian Russian Legion. This was on Twitter, but I don't know how verifiable that is. But yeah, that'd be pretty awful for them.
Yeah, the freedom of Russia is in Russia. I don't have any confirmation on that. So guys, what we're going to do in here is we're going to be patient and we're going to give you facts tonight. The facts are this, and this is the focus and the flag raffle. I'll remind everybody about that in a moment. Multiple border towns and villages under heavy fire. The longest air alarm since the war began in Kharkiv was today. Not day 1 of the war, not day 10 of the war, today. It lasted over 13 hours. They were under air alarm. This is not a full ground invasion. Not. But it was a heavy attack. For example, it was MLRS like this. That's not looped. Landing at a village, landing in northern Kharkiv.
So you're saying it's like that. Anton
No,
Gerashenko
that was video from it.
Okay, Gerashenko was talking about trying to verify that was the actual video.
It was the actual video. I double checked it. That was it. Okay. Here is actual video, village burning today. This is how we know this was MLRS activity. And multiple of these villages were burned today. So these are the facts. Let's go to the next one. Facts. And I'll go to the map. Population is being evacuated from Vovchansk and surrounding villages in the Kharkiv region. And that's from the head of the regional administration, Tamaz Hambarashvili. The main mass of people are leaving by their own transport, meaning getting in their own cars and leaving. But at the same time, together with Humanitarian Center, we organize the removal of these locals who do not have their own cars. We work together with volunteers and the police. For example, if Zhenya and I happened to be in Kharkiv today, we probably would have went up there and loaded people up and helped evacuate them because they were working with established, legit volunteer organizations. So this is the fact of what is happening. Greg, please put at cinnamon in the drawing. He can't do it. That's from my mod king. I will add cinnamon to it. Now let's do this. Let's go to a map and I will show everybody. First of all, air raid. There you go. Kharkiv. How did you get
the population of Kharkiv is about 1.5 million, right?
About 1 million now. Pre-war metro up to 1.5. Let me fix your camera there. Yeah, it's that big.
So yeah, you need about a 1 to 40 to be able to occupy, and that might be even worse in a city area, like one for every 40 members of the population. So I'm not sure that the math is going to work out for taking the city. They might. You understand what I'm saying? Like, anyway.
Well, we'll see. I don't know, but I'm fixing your camera here, sir. Everybody's enjoying this. So I did
you need 25,000 just to hold it. The whole, I mean, they have like what, 50,000 around it. It seems not like it seems like they're not really deeply committed to it. They seem more committed. Whoa.
I'm fixing. You just keep talking.
They seem more committed to Chasiv Yar than they do to Kharkiv. But that's just my outsider's view.
Chasiv Yar doesn't do anything but give them a disposition to move towards. Let's go right here. We'll go to Johnny's map. Chasiv Yar gives them a disposition to move towards Kramatorsk and Slavyansk and all of that. But okay, I know it's hard to hear this, but Kharkiv ends the war. Chasiv Yar doesn't end the war.
I understand that, but they don't have 150,000 and armored whatever coming down.
Agreed.
On Kharkiv.
Agreed.
So that's why I'm saying I don't see that as being what is happening. It could be a feint, but I don't know that it is. And in the meantime, they don't care. They're happy to destroy stuff. So that's my read.
Johnny's map is goofy. Let me go to Deep State. I'll use that one right now. Yeah. Chasiv Yar right here. All that, and I'm in Ukrainian. I can put it in English for you guys.
Hey, maybe you can answer this question too.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to Willie OAM because somebody sent this to me this morning. A link that told me to go look at this particular thing that he was talking about, and he was saying, well, the deep state map, we don't really trust it because
I don't either.
It's associated with the Ukrainian government, and I'm thinking, okay, one. A map associated with the Russian government, I would trust far less.
I don't trust that either.
What's your
on map? I use them all, and out of all of them, you'll get the truth. Pro-Ukrainian mappers, pro-Russian mappers, and neutral mappers. Johnny's map is the best, in my opinion. You have a pro-Ukrainian mapper, you have a pro-Russian mapper, and you have a neutral mapper, and they all work together. In fact, on our stream yesterday, we talked about that quite intently. I also appreciate Institute for the Study of War, their analysis as well. Now, let's do this so everybody understands what we're talking about here. Let me do it about this size. Okay. We'll go blue on this, and then we can move forward. So this is the Ukrainian border, basically. Russian, just in general. Kharkiv is right here. The incursions today happened right here, and they happened right there. 30 kilometers from central Kharkiv. This is what we're talking about. Now, This is the town Volchansk right here. And right here tonight, Pletinivka and Ogirtsevi is where the reports are coming in that there's actually some Russian boots on the ground in here tonight. Once again, patience, we'll wait and see. But this is the town right here, Volchansk, which is being evacuated. Now, that makes sense to me because the evacuation of Volchansk news came out hours ago. And then now 45 minutes or so ago, we get the facts that there are sighted Russian boots on the ground here. Not saying tanks. That's why I'm leaving it at DRG, and we'll wait hours and we'll see. But this all makes sense now. While they were pushing for that evac out of here, they knew. The other place that we pay attention to.
Let me pause on that.
Yeah.
I think nobody was taken by surprise. The Russians knew what the Ukrainians were doing. The Ukrainians knew that the Russians were coming. I think nobody is surprised that anything that is happening is happening.
No, they're not surprised. Okay, how can I say this?
Like the Russians knew that there would be these reserve units pushed in very quickly, and maybe that was part of what they wanted to do. Right?
We're going to talk about that in just a second.
The Ukrainians knew the Russians were doing what they were doing as they were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So nobody's off balance. They have read each other pretty well. So
Johnny and I had a great stream yesterday. You were in part of it. It was really good. In fact, he received a lot of comments. I received a lot of comments where people were going, okay, we just love how you guys interact and your opposites and da-da-da-da, but it's so good. Please do it more. So it was good. And then I played some video games with my daughter. And then I was up late and I started seeing the news come through about Kharkiv. And then Jania and I were talking at 6 a.m. Ukraine time. And I knew something was happening and I went to bed. And then when I got up this morning, of course, Johnny's in the UK, I see his alert notification, emergency or breaking news, Kharkiv. And I watched his video and he started off, okay, yesterday, Greg and I were talking about Kharkiv and I didn't expect this. And then he gave the update on it. So yesterday, you can watch the video, guys. I told Johnny, he goes, where do you think something would happen? I said, Kharkiv. Just 12 hours before it happened. But when I saw the news this morning, I was surprised. I don't know if you can understand what I'm trying to say there. Like, I knew from talking to people, they were going to at least try some incursions there and crank it up. But I still was like, oh my goodness, they actually did increase the artillery, did really try to begin to establish a grade zone on that border. And I was a little bit surprised, even though it's what I expected. I don't know if that makes sense.
Somehow I thought, yeah, it does. Somehow I thought it was supposed to be lower than that. I thought it was going to be further east and a little south, but still in the north, like in the wooded area. That didn't make sense. That's how I understood that where it was going.
Well, but, once again, remember,
but the whole purpose was still always to draw people off. But I can't understand why.
Because Ukraine has a limited number of soldiers and mobilization is struggling.
That, but I don't
and if they can get the reserves up there, listen, I'm going to show you guys something about Chasiv Yar in just a minute.
Okay.
Here's Kharkiv. Why here? Well, right there is why. It's you're 90 kilometers from center of Kharkiv to center of Belgorod. It's very heavily wooded here for both sides. And Russia can supply it. I've listened to enough of the veterans in here in the chat talking about supply lines. You know, Russia is able to supply their border well here. Ukraine can as well. but they would have to put some serious resources up there that would be better served right now in other places. But now they have to pay attention significantly.
Sure.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Guys, if you're just getting in here, we're only dealing with facts tonight about Kharkiv. And please go to the pin chat in mine. Did you pin it in yours?
I did, yes.
Good. Or Professor Gerdes' chat.
In the chat, click on that and get yourself in the drawing.
Please get yourself in. We're up to 150 people, and we've got over 500 watching between the two channels. So make sure, click the link, put your name in one time so you have a chance to win the Frontline autographed from Fish and his partner, Ukrainian battle flag, with the drawing of Taras Shevchenko. And no, these are not mass produced. These are done one at a time on the front lines. I left them there with Fish for a month when I was in Ukraine. So there's the facts. Now,
and if you could hit the like, that could help this spread so that people can see it. We'd appreciate
yes,
that.
Please. I'm going to give you a couple of articles that came out today, all about Kharkiv tonight. Russia's Kharkiv Oblast operations resemble simulation of large-scale attack. This is coming from Andriy Kovalenko. Kovalenko is minister responsible for disinformation. Okay? This is what he said. The situation in Kharkiv. The enemy has the resources to escalate in the border areas. But it is important not to confuse this with the ability to seize Kharkiv, which does not exist. Head for the Center of Countering Disinformation, Andriy Kovalenko. I think that's exactly what you're saying. We can create a gray zone. We can distract. We can pull. We can scare people. We can evacuate villages. But
what can you actually do? Can you actually do it? Like,
no,
they haven't. They have, if they doubled or tripled, how many Russian troops are in a neighborhood? 50,000?
There are about 50,000 between Sumy and Kharkiv on the border.
Don't you need to double that or triple that in order to actually effectively do it?
There's 3 Chechen battalions over on the other side of Belgorod that are scheduled to come in and reinforce. But no, there's not enough, but there's enough to do what happened today and what's happening right now. So we'll see. But tonight, just facts. That's Kovalenko, and we are echoing exactly what he says. This was on Reuters. Russia advances in Ukraine's Kharkiv region in push to create buffer zone, Kyiv source says. I completely agree with that. So Ukraine is getting much more effective in striking deep into Russia. Ukraine is much more effective regularly striking Belgorod. Regularly. Belgorod is the closest city to this border right here I showed you guys on the map. So if we create this gray zone along the border, it at least backs up Ukraine's capability of where they can launch into Russia from. Because there are Ukrainians, just like Russians, all along those borders fighting. I continue to say it may be an international border there and not red like on the map, but that is a front line. And there are 2 armies facing off right on the border of Ukraine and Russia in Kharkiv Oblast, Sumy Oblast, and Chernihiv Oblast. So it is a front line, zero line. There are gun battles, there are drone battles, there is artillery, there is bombing, there is everything that happens everywhere on the front. Many times it just doesn't get the same attention, but we have a lot of friends that are up on, especially on that Sumy line, and it's war is equal as to what's happening where you see down in the east. But now we're going to
I was going to say any relation to the oil refineries that have been hit lately. Is that part of their calculation?
Well, they're hit so far. They're hit so far. I don't think a 10-kilometer gray zone is going to affect that. Some of these are being hit 1,000 kilometers in. I think this is even a political move. Putin back into
Yeah,
office,
yeah.
and okay, I'm here. I'm the savior. You have crowned me the king. Kirill has given me the marching orders that I need to rule until the end of the age, and nobody will determine Russia's future but us, and we're going to make sure our border is protected. Start smashing that border. We're going to
That makes more
protect
sense
you
than anything
people.
else.
Yeah.
That makes more sense than anything else. That it's a political decision to do what they did, because I just can't see um, I can't see the other alternatives or the other scenarios.
No. Professor Gerdes, check your oven.
Check my oven. It's almost
Yeah.
up. Yeah, it is oven time. Okay, I'll be back in just a moment.
Go ahead. All right, guys, while he's doing that, I will do this. And thank you guys for being here tonight on Friday Flag Raffle. We're up to 168 people that are in the drawing for the flag tonight. Probably going to go about 30 more minutes on the stream. I will put a 10-minute countdown. And as a reminder, starting next week, because my kids are getting me in shape to go back to Ukraine, I will be live at 4 Eastern, 1600 hours Eastern, because at 5:30 I will be at the CrossFit place with my son. And to be honest, I look forward to that with him. He doesn't think Dad can smash him in the ground, and I can't, but I sure can try. I'm in the back and loading the queue. Thank you, Paul Deberitz. Let me check. Let me check some comments while I wait for Professor Gerdes. You know what? Goose, Greg, I really appreciate your realism, as so many pro-Ukraine YouTubers paint an overly rosy picture because it plays to the desires of the audience. We need to be clear-eyed. I completely agree. And I won't change my style or what I know to be true. 10 months on the front, 26 years inside Ukraine. I speak the language, and I want reality. The reality is, without help, Ukraine's in trouble. With help, they win the war. It's simple. Better soldiers, Ukrainian. It's simple. Fighting for their land and home field advantage, Ukraine. Continuous supply from the world standing with them, and Ukraine fixing their mobilization equals a win. And believe me, I know Prof isn't in here right now, but listen, this mobilization plays into this strike on Kharkiv as well. I didn't know that general consensus. The Patriots from Germany could take up to 3 months to arrive. 3 years. Cheryl Waitley, no, don't misunderstand me. Let me go back to here in case he pops back in. Don't misunderstand me. Kharkiv being attacked, and yes, we've seen troop accumulations. That will not trigger negotiations. But if Kharkiv fell, like Kharkiv is now red, it'll trigger negotiations. I'm going to stand by that. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we never have to see if it's wrong. I just have that feeling. Kharkiv is a massive place. Massive.
For my part, I'm not sure that I agree with you there, but it could very well. I mean, I can't disagree. That could be a scenario that plays out, and I'd hate to see that as well. But I don't know that they would just quit just because of that.
If so, I'm extrapolating.
I understand.
I'm extrapolating.
It will international pressure.
No.
I get that.
I'm extrapolating.
Okay.
If they lose Kharkiv, they're going to lose so many soldiers trying to defend it. There's going to be no army left. And then the international pressure is going to come because NATO troops are not coming to the Eastern Front. It's not going to happen. It would take a serious strike on a NATO nation to get them to Donbass. supply,
Yeah,
encouragement, money. Yeah.
yeah. So
And
Lithuania said that they wanted to send some troops as trainers in country, and I think that's how you would see something like that as
yes,
trainers or technical experts of some sort or that sort of thing.
you're
But
not going to see
yeah.
the 101 airborne there.
Hmm.
So the point being, I guess I need to better explain myself. Ukraine would pay such a high price fighting for Kharkiv, it would decimate their military.
But yeah, you're right. At the same time, though, Russia doesn't have what it takes to actually do it.
I agree. I'm
Right.
just,
So, I
it's
mean,
all
we're
conjecture.
in theory land here,
We
but
are in theory
I
land.
don't see Russia being able to do
But,
it right now.
but I was, even though I expected it, I was very surprised this morning waking up and seeing Johnny's headline, even expecting it. There was a nice comment in here, Professor Gerdes, and this is for you as well, from Goose Springsteen, appreciating our realism, trying to do our best to tell the truth. So appreciate that. Um,
Well, you can only go so long with clickbaity, we're going to win tomorrow kind of something, right? I
it,
mean,
it-
I've never understood why anybody on either side of the equation does this. How many times does Doug McGregor have to say that Ukraine's over? They're finished. Like, okay,
brother,
well,
I'm telling you, I hate that stuff with a passion. And Ukrainians hate it. Real Ukrainians hate it because they're sitting
mhm.
there dying and they get all these.
Yeah, it's this weird
Uh,
false optimism that you.
let's see here. There's Ronnie Vrinken. Countries think the Cold War is over and it's not. This is a hot war. And we are not stepping up to the challenge. Um,
This is a hot war in the middle of an emerging Cold War.
correct.
I think that's really what's happening.
ATP is kind of right. How are the Russians going to take Kharkiv if they can't take Bakhmut within a year? I don't disagree with that. I'm not saying they're taking Kharkiv. I'm just telling you.
I mean, look at how much ground they've taken since Bakhmut. It's really not a lot for the cost of 100,000 troops. I'm not so.
I
At
agree.
any rate,
I'm just
yeah,
putting the conjecture out there
okay.
that we'll see. Facts from Zelensky. The morning offensive of the Russian Federation in the direction of Kharkiv was stopped. Now, this is in regard to this morning. Right now, we're having further movement. He added that the Ukrainian military was ready for such actions by the enemy. Zelensky states that the occupiers are expected to bring more troops and equipment to this part of the front. That's not conjecture. That's Zelensky talking. In fact, let's play this. This is an update on Vovchansk from this morning.
May 10th, 2024, there was heavy shelling in the city of Ovchansk. The situation is tense, which is why the local inhabitants are advised to evacuate from the city of Vovchansk to avoid falling under fire or needing to stay in shelters. The situation is stable for now. We stay connected. Long live Ukraine.
So this is the guy giving the updates on Vovchansk, and he's already put out another video tonight about the situation there, but basically the same. Now, I also have some of Zelensky talking about this.
Dear Ukrainians, today's summary mainly focuses on the Kharkiv region. Russian forces attempted to escalate their operations against Ukraine today. We understand the volume of the occupiers' forces. We see their plan, our soldiers, our artillery, our drones are responding to the occupier. I am grateful to each of our soldiers, every sergeant, every officer, who are defending our positions just like this. It's necessary. We are reinforcing our forces towards the Kharkiv directions and along our state border and along the entire front line. We will relentlessly destroy the occupier just like this, to foil any Russian offensive intentions. Today, both in the morning and in the evening. The commander-in-chief reported to me, constantly liaising with the defense minister, everything necessary for the defense of our positions. We provide everything. Everything depends on the resilience of our soldiers, and everyone holding their positions now maintains the positions of the whole of Ukraine. It is important that our partners support our soldiers and Ukrainian resilience with timely deliveries, truly timely. The package that really helps is the weapons brought to Ukraine, not just the announcement of the package. I thank every leader who understands the situation. If you perceive it this way, the second aspect is our international work. There's a new decision today about American support. President Biden's decision, it's artillery, anti-tank weapons, equipment, and air defense, the requisites. Thanks, we're working on logistics so all the weapons can quickly make their way to the front.
So there you have it. That's his evening address. I took the part about Kharkiv and put the voiceover in the English on it for you. So he says, okay, we just need supply, but not just the promise of the supply, but we need the supply and the logistical working out of getting them to the places they need to be. So stable response, and we only deal with facts here. That is Zelensky's response to Kharkiv. Question in the chat from the History Wanderer. Where is the link for the flag raffle? I do not see it in the area below the video like last several were done. Can someone help me out? I had to join the live feed late. History Wonder, in the chat, go up to the top of the chat, either on Professor Gerdes' channel or mine, and there is a pinned comment. Click it. There's a link there. Click that and put your name there. It comes right in to the raffle. Let's go to the next one. Facts. Maybe, are you familiar with Alexander Pavluk?
No, not terribly.
Okay.
I can't tell you anything about him.
Okay, so you have Syrskyi,
Mm-hmm.
the Supreme Commander, and you've got Zelensky, Commander-in-Chief. So this guy, Alexander Pavluk, is the commander of the Ukrainian ground forces. He is the boss that reports to Syrskyi, but his responsibilities, all ground forces.
And he's new since the shakeup, right?
He was a change, yes.
Yeah.
He gave an interview, coincided with this incursion, we'll call it, into the Kharkiv border area. And this is what he says. The Russian army cannot carry out large-scale actions on several fronts at once. So it is now checking the stability of our lines, and decisions are then made. This interview was given prior to the Kharkiv region incursion, but that statement makes complete sense with what Russia did. They're going to check what defenses are there, what systems are there. I don't know if you remember. Okay, I'm going to give some information now. Here's some information. When Zhenya and I were working around Kharkiv, and we posted a video. We were watching the Russian radio balloons. You guys remember that? And we were filming them, and we said, hey, why aren't these being shot down? What is going on? And we said, well, we're somewhere up here. Where we were is right where the incursion happened. So those were, I mean, that's, 6-8 weeks ago, but I think
it was a lot quieter then.
Completely quiet. And then Kharkiv over the last 6 weeks, daily, struggling. 250,000 homes, businesses, and people all along that northern Kharkiv stretch right now, not city proper, in that stretch are without power right now. So it's interesting. He says they're going to check the stability of our lines. And that could be very well what we were seeing in this incursion. Secondly, he said the enemy.
That's what you. Hold on a second. Let's understand this, because if I'm sketchy, maybe other people are.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't carry out large scale in multiple directions. Okay, and that's what I'm saying. That's why it doesn't make sense that they would be trying to do a feint, right? Because they just don't have the resources to. If they're doing this, they're taking away from. Let's say it was Chasiv Yar or wherever they're taking away from the place that they need to concentrate in order to be able to push through. So that scenario doesn't seem to make sense to me. But that they're just testing all around the lines, that would make some sense.
I agree, but to make a concerted push, they're going to have to rotate troops. And there is an offensive coming from the Russians. Where is it going to be? I think that's the determination. So, sure, they can't keep pushing on Krasnogorivka, Chasiv Yar, and try to take Kupiansk and Kharkiv. Never going to happen. But I think they're trying to determine where they're going to go. And at the minimum, they're having to pull on Ukrainian reserves toward that northern Kharkiv border, which Ukraine needs them in other places right now. So it's just time.
My mind is still that trying to take Kharkiv seems like a fool's errand with the amount that they have. So it seems like just a test. It's not a feint, and it's not trying to take the city.
No, it's not trying to take the city.
I can't see it. Yeah.
It's not trying to take the city. I think in the future they will try to take the city.
Yeah,
the enemy,
if they can muster a large enough army.
Okay, so look here.
You know what's happening in Zaporizhia now, right? Where they're mobilizing. They've always tried to mobilize, but they're really going into an overdrive of mobilizing Zaporizhia Ukrainians in order to put them out to fight their battle. So,
they do that very heavily.
But they've been doing it. But there's an elevated push to be able to do that now.
All right, I'm gonna give you prediction number 2.
Okay.
You're getting ready to see a mass mobilization in Russia.
Oh yeah.
Okay, mass, and this
is
time
how they're going to spread Russians across the world.
It's going to be, but this time it's going to be Western Russia, civilized Russia.
Is that right?
Absolutely, it's not going to be East. It's going to be this Western belt, huh?
That's not going to go over well.
It's going to happen. This is why they love Belgorod being hit. That's why they love the apartment buildings taking damage. The narrative's being laid. Remember, they play chess well ahead. They could be hitting their own buildings, man, literally, in Belgorod, and blaming it on Ukrainian drones and deflections. This is how evil.
At least accidentally done that, but
this is how evil this regime is, and how they think ahead to build the narrative and then put the pieces into place. It's what Nemtsov said, even on the political side and the national destabilization side. They plan ahead years and decades, and they've been preparing for a mass mobilization for years now, and it's coming. He's in office, it's over, and Kirill has crowned him the Lord of all. It's over. He has free reign now. The government is being adjusted, and you're getting ready to see it. Look what
everybody knows that some kind of mobilization is coming. That's an interesting nuance that you just had. That's a good insight that what's happening in Belgorod is actually playing into their hands if they're drawing from anywhere around that region. But why they would draw around that region when they don't have to, when they could draw from the parts of Russia that they don't really like, that are icky? You know, I mean, why they would be doing that?
They've drawn heavily from that east, and I'm not to say that they will not continue, but you're going to see mobilization now in the West. Okay, so how do we know that? Because I watch a lot of Russian media, Russian news, read a lot of Russian stuff. Everywhere now in St. Pete, in Moscow, in Belgorod, in Rostov, all these cities along this borderline is now, the billboards are there. Fight for your nation. Join the SVO. They were not there a year ago. Now they're putting all of this up. They're preparing for this mobilization. Now, thank you, Daryl Curson, for that coffee. Alexander Pavluk says this. Now, this is Pavluk, commander of the ground forces. The enemy's trying to focus on capturing Lugansk and Donetsk, while at the same time, Russia has not yet abandoned the ideas of capturing Kyiv.
No, that's correct. Yeah, so um,
We've got the prof thinking now, guys.
yeah, so there's a quote, a business quote that talks about how more companies die. Like, so companies tend to do things, and I'm going to explain why I'm using that as an analogy. Companies tend to do these stupid things where you need to do the thing that has the greatest return on investment, but they do this and that, and the other thing, and this thing and that thing, rather than focus narrowly. In the military, it's like concentration. I don't remember what the term is to concentrate all your energy or focus exactly. Mass, I think it is. So more companies die of indigestion than starvation. And that's what the Russians did in the early days. And that's what I see them doing now, is that they're trying to do this and that and the other thing and the other thing, instead of concentrating, focusing, and pushing one way. And so I see more of the same. By the way, somebody here, one of my viewers asked what kind of kit the Russians have as they're doing this. If you know anything about it, I don't know that I do. Like, how well equipped?
I do not know the answer. How are the soldiers supplied?
Yeah, how well equipped? I mean, we know that these guys are, there's special forces across the, just right over the line. But I don't know that they're all special forces.
Okay, no, they're not.
I know so there's some, and then there's probably heavily backed up by some that are pretty poorly trained. But
I wish Jania was in here; he'd answer it for you. But I know the answer that he would tell you. Meat grinder, mobilized troops from the east are equipped very basic. DRG and professional Russian military are equipped very well. Very well. Mm-hmm. So there's a big difference between a lot of the mobilized people they just send to their deaths as a meat grinder versus this DRG and these professional soldiers. So then he says, if Ukraine receives enough weapons through the summer, the situation could turn. And the main problem, the Ukrainian armed forces, is the lack of artillery and armored vehicles. And that's directly from Pavluk. Today, U.S. new $400 million military aid package. This is in the $61 billion, though, as I understand, correct? It's inside of that.
Yes.
Okay. The package will include Patriot missiles, Stinger anti-aircraft, Bradley fighting vehicles, MRAPs, and Javelin anti-tank systems. Good news. Good news. That's some of the stuff they desperately need. Now, there's a question here.
You have Twitter?
Yes.
You have Twitter access, right? Okay. So I just put something in my thread. Go grab that link and show it. It's a earth mover. Just humor me.
Okay, I'm going to humor.
This is a awesome metaphor for what is happening right now with the Ukrainian army and where they are, where they have to get to, just all the events. Did you see that?
I'm going to your feed now.
Yeah, you're going to my feed. Look at the last comment or second to last comment is just grab that little Twitter post.
Okay, I'm going to go here and you tell me. Let's go to this, and now we're on your Twitter.
No, not my Twitter, not on my Twitter itself. Okay, I can do it that way as well. Let me. I will.
I know this is a humorous site, but it sounds like state media.
I reposted it, so now you can see it.
Darth Putin.
No, not Darth Putin.
Okay.
Not him.
Oh, you just reposted it.
I just reposted the thing, so you should be able to see it now if you refresh.
Refresh and how things work. Okay.
There it is, the earth mover. Okay, watch this. As this guy goes across that ravine, this is where the Ukrainians are. Right? They've got a really tricky time. They have to figure out how to get over this short run, real significant problem. They just got over the place where they got to the $61 billion package. It's not going to be the whole thing, but if they can last for the next few weeks and then last for the next few months, it's like getting over this ravine as he's just doing just now, and then they'll be on much more solid ground. But they've got to get through this, and that includes more mobilization as well as other things. But I saw that and I was like, wow, what a perfect metaphor for what's going on.
It's beautiful. And I think it's a great description of how professional Ukrainian soldiers are. They innovative. You know, of course, this is a master operator here doing that, but the Ukrainians are masters as well. They just got to hang on.
I hope my analogy made sense. They
Completely.
really have a very tricky time ahead of them in the short run. But after that, if they can get through this and get other pieces in place, they'll be on much more solid ground.
Goose Springsteen, $10 super chat. I think it's important to remember things can move slowly for a long time before moving quickly. It isn't linear. Look at the Allied breakout from Normandy in 1944. Things can grind until they snap. And it's a great comment. 10 quid there from Goose Springsteen. Richard Bjorklund, just putting some comments in here. And this is back to the Russian mobilization. They just, or it could be for the Ukrainian as well. Let's just leave it in mobilization in general. They just need enough hate. Then the mobilization is not a big problem. John Larkin, big ATP geopolitical guy, 10 quid. We in the West do not have the same mindset as the Russian military. They want the Ruski Mir and will spend bodies with no thought. Completely agree with you, sir. Cheryl Waitley, Russia hasn't abandoned the idea of taking Anchorage either. That's funny. Good luck. Oh, please. Really good comment there. Okay, now we're going to get to the next topic, and we're going to start getting close to the drawing. If you are here and you are on Professor Gerdes' channel or mine, we're co-streaming. You have a pinned comment at the top of the chat. Click the link only one time and put your name and email in. Email will not be shown. And that's how we'll contact you to ship the flag. And we will spin the wheel, and somebody tonight is going to win another frontline autographed battle flag from Fish and his team. There's Fish's signature. So, Chasiv Yar. I like being patient. I'm going to go to Johnny's map. Here we go. There we go. I fixed it. I'm going to use Johnny's map. To Cam Web here. All right, guys, we're going to look at Chasiv Yar. I need to zoom out so I know where I'm at. There we go. Chasiv Yar.
For my money, that's a more dangerous, more devastated place to be than Kharkiv.
Much more dangerous. There's only 600 and some civilians left. Some of those are probably pro-Russian, waiting for their liberation. Let's be honest. We talked about that yesterday. But Chasiv Yar's destroyed already, and it just will be ground to powder now. But I have a feeling that Ukraine is going to be very judicious with the level they hold Chasiv Yar, saving equipment and saving soldiers. Why do I say that? Right here. This is from Pavluk, the commander of the ground forces, just a little while ago on Gromadska. I translated it for you. The loss of Chasiv Yar in the Donetsk region would not have decisive significance. It is an ordinary urban settlement. Commander of the ground forces, Pavluk, just hours ago. That's telling me that they will hold on as long as they can. That's helping the tractor get across the ditch by holding. But I don't think they're going to let it be an Avdiivka moment where they lost more soldiers than they should have in Chasiv Yar. And that's Pavluk today saying that. Additionally, Zelensky tweeting about 90 minutes ago. His tweet is on the left. I translated it on the right, and I see a similar topic. This is what I personally watch for. I don't listen to YouTubers other than the crew I run with that I believe we're on the same page. Professor Gerdes, Johnny, Rick, and the list goes on. Andrew does a good job, to be honest, telling what the truth is. We don't chase crap. We don't do clickbait thumbnails and hopium. We try to tell the truth. Here's Zelensky.
I put clickbait on mine in my thumbnails because it's pictures of me.
Yeah, but that's not clickbait. Basically, that's just, it puts a lot of your viewership into drool just at the beauty. I'm
just seeing if they want to be chased away, if they're really willing to get past me in order to get.
All right, so while we're doing this, well, let me read this first. This is Zelensky's tweet about 90 minutes ago. There are heavy battles along the entire front line, Vladimir Zelensky. Second, in the report of the Commander-in-Chief, Alexander Sirsky, special attention was paid to the directions of Kharkiv, Pokrovsk, and the other directions in the Donetsk region. Thirdly, we discussed defense actions and strengthening our positions in Kharkiv region. So, heavy battles front line, 2 statements about Kharkiv, and then Pokrovsk and Donetsk, and then his 4th point. This is all he said. Separate conversation, Chasiv Yar.
What do you make of that?
They're going to leave it.
Okay. So it seems like you don't just
not
take
tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Okay, please hear me. It's the same thing.
Rings of defense dropping back.
They are. They have to. Listen. Okay. Let me do this. Let me start the 10-minute timer. Let's do title editor. Let's go. I think I can do it like this. That should be playing. There. In 10 minutes, we'll do the raffle. It's counting down. All right.
We're already late,
I know, but a really good stream. Really good stream. People have enjoyed doing your dental exam. Ukraine took a lot of heat with the way they left Avdiivka.
Mm-hmm.
They had a military change, and that was a part of the reasoning, not the only reasoning, but a part of it. They did a poorly executed exit. Mm-hmm. They lost soldiers that were taken or killed that should never have been. They lost a lot of equipment that they had moved into Chasiv Yar, into Avdiivka, that they had to leave. Their defensive lines were not in place. And due to that, they lost some ground that they should not have. And more importantly, some heroes. Now, Sirsky.
That seems to tell me that they weren't planning on leaving.
They were not.
Yeah.
But the supply stopped.
Yep.
And they got caught with their pants down. And unfortunately, we lost really good soldiers, guys. Really good. Some of the best. And we lost a lot of equipment when they can't afford to lose nothing. Ukraine will not let that happen on Chasiv Yar. Why? Because, and I'll show you here on the map while the clock is ticking down, and I can just put it right back up over us. We're down to 8 minutes. Why? If you have not signed, Chasiv Yar is right here. Okay. This Kramatorsk, Druzhkivka, and Konstantinivka is up a hill, just like this. And then, of course, Slavyansk up here. Ukraine, listen, trust me on this. They've got this locked. It would be as difficult taking Kharkiv as it will be taking this. They are embedded,
know?
they have proper defensive lines, and they have the high ground, significant high ground. Chasiv Yar is in a hole, downhill significantly, very downhill. Everything comes up this way. So they're not going to have another story. And I think Pavluk and Zelensky are just laying the ground out there saying, okay, it's just a small town. We need operational challenges we need to take care of. Zelensky says, Chasiv Yar, different conversation. So are they leaving it today? No. Are they retreating out of there? No. But are they going to get caught there again? No way. No way.
Yeah, I think they learned a lesson after Avdiivka.
I will tell you, it won't be good if Chasiv Yar falls, but it would be worse if Chasiv Yar fell and they lost a large group of soldiers again. That would be worse. We're down to 6 minutes and 10 seconds. If you have not signed up, click the link and put your name and email in. It's pinned in the chat of both of ours. And the last two places we'll look at Zelensky, and they were talking about that Donetsk land, Pavluk and Siersky, of course, is this place, Krasnogorivka. And Johnny and I were talking about this yesterday. This area right there. They're trying to bring this pinch over to here. And then this is rural neighborhood. So we'll see. They've already taken the factory here. They've taken the factory here. So this right here is the Central Park. It's going to be trees and sidewalks. You can see the little tree lines. That's all sidewalks in there. Every town has one, Central Park. And the issue is here, Ukrainians that may be here. So we keep our eye on that place as well. There's just a lot of pressure right now. And the only other place that I'm concerned about, and there's no movement on it. So 10 kilometers is this Ocherny, this highway here that comes to the intersection. This is Novolandrivka and Vozdvojenka. They're tough ones. 10 kilometers up to the main supply road that connects Mirny Pokrovsk into Konstantinivka. So this is the areas we watch very closely. But everything we've tried to share with you guys tonight is fact, not conjecture. And Kharkiv incursion, artillery-wise, up top. MLRS, some troops did go across the border. Some are across the border now. No big tanks, nothing of that nature. Probing, most likely. And then the battle continues everywhere else. Supplies coming. Zelensky says supply is important. And we hear the talk a little bit about Chasiv Yar from a couple of high-ranking people, ground force commander and the president. So we'll see.
But let me shift gears now.
Please.
When Siersky became commander, we were talking about this some time ago. So you have 3 minutes. I want to know, on mature reflection, what you think of Siersky. I know that the troops didn't necessarily like him right away, but what do you think now after you've given him a few months to actually get his ground legs, get his sea legs, and be able to get ground truth about what's going on in the war? What happened with Avdiivka was unfortunate, but I don't see that being repeated. Tell me what you think about him.
At first, didn't like him at all.
Mm-hmm.
Some of his early decisions were meat grinderish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that he has. This is going to be hard to explain, and when I say this, I've even talked with soldiers about this. Do not like just the generational connection to Russian
The Soviet
training,
system where he was
the
trained.
Soviet
Right.
system. But that's hard to get away from anybody in Ukraine. Everybody's related to somebody from the Soviet Union era, or a lot. I don't want to say everybody, a lot.
That was actually something Zaluzhny had going for him because he had studied NATO
That's correct.
operations in his thesis, and that made him think differently.
Over the last month, he's made some really good decisions. He's went to the zero line, just like Zaluzhny did. But the most important thing, and this is not weak. This is showing strength as a leader. Finally, Ukraine has prepared proper defensive positions. And this is going to sound strange. Okay. Talking directly with guys, and we're at 1 minute and a half, who have fought recently within the last week or two in Chasiv Yar. Okay, this is personal communication. And after I see what Zelensky tweets and then Pavluk's conversation about Chasiv Yar, I will respect Syrskyi even higher if he makes a smart operational decision on Chasiv Yar and doesn't allow us to lose some really good heroes, more than we already have on the Chasiv Yar direction, when we can get a much stronger position, let them have it, and then smash them in that hole. I know it's very bad there. I can't say it's just very bad there. We've lost a lot of really good soldiers in Chasiv Yar right now. And I think that's why we're starting to hear some of this. The ground is being tilled a little bit for some operational decisions. But we'll see.
So
I wish it was a more Zaluzhny type who's not connected to Moscow at all. That's hard to play with the news. For example, Umarov, a Crimean Tatar, good decision, to be quite honest. Get way down there. Let's pull from that region. Let's have a Tatar, and I don't know. We'll see. Niels, thank you for the 5 coffees. And we are at 0. So you talk, and I'm gonna prepare. I'm not gonna do it on screen today.
Let's do that then.
Yep, you talk.
So Shoigu was talking on while you're pulling up the screen. Shoigu
258. 258 are in the flag drawing. Awesome, guys.
Awesome.
And it's closed now. If you want a chance to do it, it'll be next Friday for you. So here we go. I'm going to work on that.
Thank you to those of you who hit the like button too. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
So Shoigu was talking the other day about how they had taken something like 200 some odd, I can't remember what it was. I highlighted it in one of my videos, 200 some odd square miles since January. I'm thinking that's not a lot of real estate that they've taken. And especially not when you think about, that was, I did the math. It was something like almost 500 soldiers per square mile they expended to take that real estate. I'm thinking, wow, that's really rough. So, but they're the attacking force, and Ukraine has been keeping. We don't know what the numbers are on the Ukrainian side, but keeping them from expanding and costing that much has been really significant. So when I see a troll say, "Hey, has Ukraine won yet?" You should actually be asking that in reverse. Hey, has Russia won yet? Like,
correct.
Russia, Ukraine is, in a matter of speaking, winning by just stopping them from going any further. That's not having won the war by any means, but you really ought to think of it in those terms. That Russia, what happened? Weren't you supposed to just be able to smash things? Where'd that go? So at any rate, just a thought. Okay, we ready for the big show?
We are. I have pulled in all the names. So I will now I'll show this, all the emails. Nobody
Don't leave anybody. Do not leave. I
No.
just saw a dip
You-
of people.
Well-
I just saw 20 people leave. Oh.
Well, they may not have put their name in. So
Okay,
here we go. This is the random spinner. No emails are here. Everybody's name is there. And if you look here, this is a long list of people that are in the raffle for this. One winner. We're going to do Wheel of Names. We're going to add a theme color. No, we're not. Color wheel. That's what I want. We're going to go with Misty Morning. Today is Misty Morning. And here is the wheel, everybody. All 258 of you are on here. And spin. Explosion. And Spartacus is our first name drawn. Okay, I'm watching my chat. Professor Gerdes,
Spartacus?
you need to watch yours.
Yeah,
Mods,
I'm doing it right now.
I need you to help me here. Spartacus,
If you're
are
Spartacus,
you?
let us know.
Spartacus, are you here?
I'm Spartacus.
Spartacus, he is here. Okay, everybody, congratulations.
Slava Ukraine.
For you.
How did the chat just not fill up with I'm Spartacus? No, I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus.
No,
Come on,
I'm
I know
seeing.
you know this.
Okay, so they had to put in their name or YouTube name.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just saying people in the chat making a joke.
We've got a great community. Look at all the congratulations going there. Yeah, Spartacus. Some did, LOL.
Welcome to Ukraine.
All right, guys, we will have another flag drawing next Friday. 1 second. Spartacus. Here it is in my hands. That's Taras Shevchenko. That's Fish's autograph and victory call. And this flag right here, friend, will be coming in the mail to you, shipped out on Monday. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Professor Gerdes, thank you. Huge crowd in here tonight on both of our channels. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Remember, starting on Monday, 4 o'clock Eastern for my lives. And I'm also working with Jania on a video to explain mobilization to everybody so we understand it and what Ukraine is physically going through step by step by step. And that way we're all more educated about that. Greg, how do we get the certificate? It's coming. It's coming step by step. There will be a download of the PDF for you. Guys, all we can say is thank you. Prof, anything you want to say? Your friendship is so important to me, but more importantly than your friendship is I feel like we've almost become family now. We chat about daily and talk about family and all that stuff. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Well, likewise. And yeah, I mean, it's almost reflexive to see something and pick up the phone and be like, hey, Greg, did you see? And then compare notes and figure things out. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Apatalks.
I'm sorry?
I'm just throwing these out here. Apatalks, $2 super chat. Thank you. Cats gifted 1 membership. Thank you. Niels Clement, member for 2 months. Russian soldiers fight for money. Ukrainian soldiers are fighting for their existence. Therefore, Ukraine will win if we, the West, do enough. That is spot on.
There's something very significant about that.
That's spot on. It's worth repeating. Niels, conductor on the Hope Train. Thank you. I think it's a great statement. Russian soldiers fight for money. Ukrainian soldiers are fighting for their existence. Therefore, Ukraine will win if we, the West, do enough. Agreed. Linda H., 5 gifted memberships. John Larkin, 10 quid. Pastor Greg, as a non-Sky Ferry believer, can you say again that Putin is a cockwomble? No, I cannot say again that Putin is a cockwomble. But John...
I'm sorry, what was that?
Putin is a cockwomble. I'm not going to say it.
Okay, gotcha.
It's kind of like saying Marjorie Taylor Greene's a camera whore, but it's he
I don't know who would say that.
he put 10 quid in here for me to say Putin is a cockwomble. But John, I'm not gonna say it.
And you could almost turn that into a drinking game or some kind of fundraiser.
Don't do that. These Brits will have me putting something in my tea here.
Yeah.
So, John, no, I will not say that Putin's a cockwomble. TTT, NOK
Very big of you.
50.
Right.
Thank you. Cats, 199 quid. And iBag gifting the membership for all of you here on my channel, for all of you here on Professor Gerdes' channel. Thank you tonight. And there's something he always likes to say at the conclusion. Before you do that, thank you to the mods. You guys are awesome. And let me do this question out there. I've got mods that work really hard because I do all these lives. I think I should mail them a flag. What do you think about that?
You asking me?
Yeah. The answer is yes. I got plenty.
I don't know how many mods you have, but these guys, some of these mods. So I don't know. Is Cheryl Waitley one of your mods?
She's not. Do you want me to mail Cheryl Waitley a flag?
People like Cheryl are everywhere. Like I'm just saying, as a person, like I go on to this stream or that stream or the other. Like she cares about this like no one that I know. I mean,
Okay.
It's just unbelievable.
Cheryl Waitley, are you in the chat?
I would strongly support Cheryl Waitley being one of those people.
Okay, so I'm getting chat now. Sue Rose, do it, Greg. Yes, just do it. Jason Thomas. Cheryl Waitley is throwing up a crazy emoticon. Flag. Y'all watch this. This is how we're going to close. This is so cool. All right. This is my flag shipment list on Monday. 100% do it. Hey, guys, this is why we're here. Flag shipment. Cheryl Waitley, Spartacus, mods. Guys,
there you go.
What we want to demonstrate, you know, there'll come a time back when I'm raffling some things to raise some money. Like maybe something like this that will get nowhere else, I promise you. Ukrainian MRE. Either that or I'll open it and eat it. But, you know, something special like that. And then I'm heading back to Ukraine. We'll get some more special items. But, you know, we've raised a lot of money and we're not quitting. We thank you for the chats, the super chats, the thank yous, the coffees, the direct donations. And we're going to fill those armored vehicles up and deliver them loaded. But Professor Gerdes and myself, we also want our communities to know that we are appreciative of you. I wish I had a flag or a patch for everybody. Of course, that's not possible, but we want to give back and say thank you. So, thank you.
So, thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.
Slava Ukraina.
Heroyam Slava.
Слава Україні!